He purchased flour at $4,200 per kilogram and sold it for over $50,000 per kilogram, reaping staggering profits. With his limitless wealth, he built a private army and swiftly became the top drug lord in the New York area. He was Frank Lucas, the gangster godfather said to have surpassed the Italian mafia by a century. It was he who first invented the method of transporting drugs inside corpses. With the outbreak of the Vietnam War, Lucas brought his entire fortune to Vietnam to buy flour. By bribing U.S. military transport pilots, he concealed the flour inside the coffins of fallen American soldiers, successfully smuggling it back to the United States. At his peak, he raked in millions of dollars daily. To cement his power, the newly wealthy Frank began assembling his own private army and lavishly bribed U.S. military and police personnel to protect his drug empire. He maintained multiple personas: devoted family man, philanthropist, community leader. In 1968, Harlem, New York, amidst the poverty-stricken streets, gangster boss Limpy personally distributed turkeys to the community. He was the king of this land and a savior in the eyes of the underprivileged. At that time, America was mired in the quagmire of the Vietnam War. Among the crowd, Frank stood discreetly below the stage, his gaze fixed intently on the man he had sworn lifelong loyalty to. He was not only Frank's boss, but his mentor, the unwavering faith Frank had followed for 15 years. Working for Luciano's mafia family, he was Harlem's undisputed underground emperor. Yet on this day, he collapsed and died without warning. For 15 years, 8 months, and 9 days, Frank served him as bodyguard, driver, and debt collector, utterly loyal. Frank not only inherited his way of doing things, but became his shadow, carrying on his legacy. Yet now, his memorial service had turned into Harlem's grandest social dance. For after this giant who controlled half of New York's underground economy fell, no one had the guts or the clout to take his mantle. Every single person present owed him money. Now that the creditor was dead, everyone was as excited as if they'd won the lottery. The old authority had vanished like smoke, without Lame Ho to shield him. Frank was worse than a dog, a laughingstock. A man without a patron, he stood alone like a street orphan, open to ridicule. Yet deep inside, he silently recalled Lame Ho's dying words. This society has fallen into chaos, with no order, no one following the rules. In this moment, Frank's eyes no longer held sorrow, but a sharp gleam of impending rise. He knew that though the boss's empire had collapsed, the underworld never lacked new kings. Only by growing stronger could one stand firm. He would become the next Lame God, truly holding the power to rule over the chaotic land of Harlem. But to secure the throne in New York, fists alone weren't enough. He needed to deal in flour. Back then, the entire New York flour market was monopolized by the Italian mafia. Bypassing them required only one path: sailing overseas to the source, to that legendary golden hellhole, the Golden Triangle of Southeast Asia. It happened to be the Vietnam War era, and crucially, he had a distant cousin serving in the military there. This became the turning point in his life. Frank hesitated no longer.